Alright guys, welcome back to the Luigi's Mansion tutorial. We're going to start ourselves off from after we did the hidden room here. If you're wondering where we started, we just finished up this laundry boo here. We're getting ready to start off with flashlight skips. So for a flashlight skip, you do this like throughout the run. Anytime you go from a light room or into a dark room, you can also use vacuum cancels in the run as well, which I can talk about as well. I'll talk about that in this room after I do the flashlight skip explanation, which is kind of the same idea. But when you go into a dark room, Luigi will pull out his vacuum, and he will stop when he does it. And stopping is bad for a speedrun, right? And that's how we can avoid this. There is a way we actually can avoid this. Like you see, even if I point right, he doesn't go anywhere, right? Pretty obvious. If I mash the L button, when Luigi pulls out his vacuum, when he has that animation, when I anticipate that animation happening, he will skip that animation and he keeps moving. You have to make sure that you mash the button. You don't want to just like, because GameCubes have analog things, like say if I just press it but I don't press it all the way down, and nothing happens. You want to make sure you mash it. So that you get Luigi like continuing to walk, and I'll get some more fire here real quick. And there's a vacuum cancel right there as well, which I can use that in this room as well. I can explain what that means. If you mash the L button while Luigi is walking, or even when he's not walking and he's just standing in one spot, you see how he just like pulled it out instantly, and then you can boom and then aim yourself right for something, as opposed to like waiting for him to pull out the vacuum. So like pulling out the vacuum, mashing. It also prevents him from, that's why it's called a vacuum cancel, because like you see me stopping to pull it out. But if I do this right, which it may be a little quirky because it's a little weird with trying to get an emulator to work with it right, but you'll see how it'll kind of not stop and move if you do it right at the same time. See what I'm saying? Just don't be afraid to be aggressive with that type of stuff. It's generally, aggressiveness is good. If you're not aggressive, you probably won't get it. Anyway, just keep that in mind anytime you go through like a closed situation, or if you see me do something like that, that's how I do that. Just mash the L button down all the way to click for it to work for both situations. It's a little bit harder to get the vacuum cancels and the flashlight cancels, but you'll get a feel for where the spot is. It's kind of like I almost like, because of their analog, I will hit like their corners of the C stick, or corners of the C stick, corner of the L and R button. See how there's like points? I'll hit the points. That way I get it all the way down. And it'll make it a little bit easier for me to get it. At times, particularly for vacuum cancels, I do that because it's a little bit more extra effort, it seems, to do that. But yeah, so what we do is you would do flashlight skip and then you would roll yourself right on. We need to go to melody. That's the key that we have now from Mother's room, actually. The hidden room didn't give you a key at all, but the route for that is just easier to get that boo. There is a faster route, but definitely not meant for any type of beginner or anything like that. You can get breaker boo, but we won't talk about that here. Or even in an advanced tutorial, you can still get a very good time without having to get breaker in one cycle, which is a whole nother battle. We won't worry about that. But anyway, we're gonna need to go to Melody's room. She's all the way up here. You may be able to hear her playing the piano. You need to hit, in order for her to spawn out, so we can see her, otherwise you don't see anything. She's just not here. Nothing happens. You have to hit every single piece of music in this room to play a familiar tune, as you'll probably notice. And it's best to hit like from left to right, so you're like progressing. You don't want to like hit this object and then hit this object and then hit this one, then go back over here and hit this one, you know what I mean? So like when you enter this room, just kind of do a left to right. That was the first one, a little bit more to the right, a little bit more to the right. Got this guy, this one, this one, this one, and then hit the bottom one down here, and then you go straight and right, and you'll have this animation of Melody playing or saying hello. And she'll ask you to play a game in which she's going to play a song, and you're going to have to guess what the song is. There are two options. She's playing water this time. If you get water, it's the first option that you get. So if you have Japanese and you're like, I have no idea what it says, it's the first option. It's always the first option in all versions. If you get that tune right there, which is water, from people that remember that from one of the Super Mario Brothers games, or pretty much all of them really. So yeah, we'll say water there if you're in English, and if you guess right, she will be happy. Let's see if I can get the other example to exist before you guys to know what the difference is. If you get the other Super Mario Brothers 3 tune, which I'm not sure if I get, if the manipulation is too strong, but beyond this point or not, I don't know. It may already be predetermined by this point, so I may not get it. I'll only try this a couple times. If I don't get it, I'll just explain. I mean, basically, if you get Super Mario Brothers 3, it's the third option. The other song that's not this. Okay, so yeah, the other song, which is a lot more upbeat, you'll know the difference, is actually, and it's actually a little bit faster than this song, which is weird too, but you have to do a little bit of menuing for it. If you get that song, it's the third option, and if you get that option, make sure you go down. Optimally, you'd want to go up so that you don't have to menu twice. But yeah, just make sure you pick the right answer. That's the main thing. As a beginner, pick the right answer. Don't want to lose like 45 seconds to a minute, it's bad. So yeah, we'll just start from this. So when you guess correctly, she'll like laugh a little bit, and then she'll start throwing the sheets, and you need to suck up the sheets in order to activate her heart. So you suck up the sheets. I'm gonna see here. It may just be better just as a beginner just to suck them up. Or burn them, whatever is more comfortable for you, I don't know. Yeah, you could do something like that, and then you can just suck up the ghost. If that's more comfortable for you right away. You could just do fire also. If you do fire... I did that wrong. I used to do this straight all the time, I forget. Literally just stand right here. And all the sheets will go away. In fact, that may be easier to do, to be honest with you, when you think about easy. If you stand literally like right behind this right here and just point straight up, all of them will go away. And then you can just suck it up. All the sheets come to you. That'd be easier for beginners to figure out. Just stand there and get it really easy. And you suck her up, and then you have some spawn points to deal with. You want to suck her up and pull her this way because you have two spawn points right here, this cabinet and then the piano. Literally every single music instrument has a spawn point, which is why this room is one of the most taxing. If you get bad RNG, it's really bad. You have all of the spots, and if something was in here, which there was earlier, you would just obviously hit it if it was in there. Now you just move over here, and if you get to this point, open the key, or open the chest and get the key, and then check some spots till you find a boo somewhere. I mean, like legitimately, how many like mushrooms exist in this room? And then you want to get the boo, and you want to get yourself back to the door here, because that's your next destination. So let's review that entire thing there. We'll do it all together. Burn straight up. Sometimes you'll get that occasional sheet over there, which makes it a little sketchy, but it's pretty easy. Yeah, he moved there, so that's actually a good example. If the boo's there, still hit the chest. Well, maybe not hit the chest, I don't know. I would hit the chest still. You could probably still get the key there first if you're more comfortable with it, and then get the boo afterwards. Try to do a vacuum cancel so that he doesn't leave. And this would actually be a good opportunity to show what happens when a boo leaves, which you may need to do. Look at this. Okay, let's see. See me vacuum cancel right to the thing there. And vacuum cancel to the boo. Let's say I lost the boo. Let's say it went out here. Which is very easy to lose this one. This is a common one, so this would be a good example. You can try to force him upward. You may not. You may get unlucky and he ends up in here, because that's quite unlucky. It's kind of a hard thing to explain about how to do it, really. You can like use ice and manipulations to push him out of a way, but that positioning is kind of bad because you don't really push him away from that. I think he only leaves when you don't want him to. You don't leave now. Yeah, generally doing like fire or like a vacuum in the opposite direction puts him that way. It doesn't tend to go in the same direction, but it doesn't always mean that. You see how I kind of did it there? He didn't go left. Left is kind of bad. You can always like get him on the way back if you have to. So whenever you walk by that door again, you can get him later if that happens, because you can't get him in that room, obviously, unless you want to chase him around for a while. I would say just continue to run, personally. But anyway, let's say we did that there. And we're done, and we got the boo in one cycle. And then we got our flashlight skip. If you need fire at any point, you run out of fire, right here. Grab this right here. If you need fire. You can do that going there or coming back, either one. You know, in bounds you won't have to deal with lugs, so just walk straight left and go back to this door. And for the next part, there's only one ghost in this room. He's a ice puncher, just like in the hidden room. You want to activate the refrigerator before he spawns and just like leave fire. And what you can do is just leave fire, and then once he spawns, let go of it and then flash him. It's called a little like, I don't even know what to call it. What is that thing that they have? They have it's an ice heart animation skip. You don't have to worry about like him staying there, and I saved over that, but you don't have to worry about him doing that. Again, like if I were to fire him and wait a little bit longer, he would stay there and get burned for like 5 health, like in the hidden room. You just want to burn him for a little bit and then flash him and then get him. And then when you suck him up, you bring him back to here. And then you want to open this chest and you want to get the fire emblem. That's what it is. The water element thing. And then you'll get some vortex. And this is an interesting far spread room, but you need water to water this fire door here. You can't get through it unless you do. So what you want to do is, while getting this boo, which is in either the washer here, which you can see that you see that example of there being something under the cloth because of the lump you can still see under the cloth there. It's another example. Anyway, it can be under this table cloth, it can be in the washer, it can be in the refrigerator, and you can be in the cabinet here. Those are the 4 options. In the meantime, while you're doing that, when you're standing here and getting the water, so you had fire still, you would get the water, and you would spray this, and then you would want to hit objects until you get the boo. And then you would want to bring them back to the door, so we can use that example again. We use it in real time, as opposed to kind of making it up. Text box. Water. This. If you're really feeling risky, you can actually hit it before then. It actually may be better for you to like go for the cloth after that. If you can see the lump under there, and you haven't heard him like switch. Because that's one thing you can keep in mind if he like switches. And there's a lump there, he's obviously not in it. You can be if you like switched out of there and switched back in there again, but you're never in a room long enough for that to happen. Normally, so you don't have to worry about that type of thing. Alrighty, so spooky, we go right out to this door here. Flashlight skip, always remember your flashlight skips. You want to wake this dog up, and then you want to bait him into trying to get you and then moving out of the way right away. For the first 2 shots, and then the third one you want to get grabbed by him. And you can shake both controller stick and C stick there. I didn't even know you couldn't press start there during that cutscene, that's funny. Doesn't surprise me, but it's funny. Some of the cutscenes are like that in this game, but so nice save. Alright. So again, it's better, I just like going around them, it's easier to do that, that way you don't accidentally not wake them up. And then I like to like lead him to the left. I wouldn't worry about where you lead him as long as you just lead him and don't get hit the first 2 times and then get grabbed. And then you can like shake or circle the C stick or shake them back and forth. Whatever's more comfortable for you. The C stick's probably really comfortable, you can do that. I like do like a controller stick back and forth and C stick circles at the same time. That's kind of what I do, I think. That's what I feel like when I do it anyway. Let me see if I'm right. Yeah, kind of. I almost do circles with both. But anyway, you get the ghost after this. And you, when the dog gets to the bone, he will show his heart and you can just suck up him too. So we'll go through that one more time. Come off, that guy can spawn in 3 different spots too. He can spawn to the left, or he can spawn on the little, I'm gonna call it like garden over there where the plant is. You can spawn on the bottom part of that or the top part of that where the brown area is over there. Over here. You can spawn right here or you can spawn right here. Okay, just point right to the dog, he'll just sit there and show his heart the entire time. And you want to get back to the doghouse here. And you pull out your Game Boy Horror and flash it like you would Mirror Warp in order to activate it before you go through. Just like you do with the mouse holes and Mirror Warping, all that other stuff. And you end up here. You can do a flashlight skip there, even though I didn't do it. I'll use an example. This. After the second stumble, not the first one. Anyway, you have this. And if it'd be easier just to water them or to flash them. I guess it wouldn't be that hard to explain it. Maybe easier for a beginner just to get the bottom guy? Don't know. You see what I do there? I just flash the ghost the entire time. Am I just doing B and letting go of B? Basically. If you're not comfortable with it, because it is kind of like a weird feeling, you can just water him and wait, and then get the double. And then you do need to get this guy as well. So whatever kind of feels for you, The only advantage of the flashlight is that you can get a YOLO and you can get it a little bit quicker because you're kind of like waiting for the water animation to stop, but if it's more comfortable, definitely do that. You can still get it from the fastest cycle that way still, so you just have to wait for it a little bit. And then you want to get this third ghost and get yourself back into the Bogmire cutscene as well. I can explain the flashlight one a little bit. Wouldn't use it more for like the advanced part, but we can. But you literally just flash until the other ghost shows up. Basically, get out of the way, sirs. You just flash until the other guy shows up, and then you flash them, and then you suck them up. Luigi and his monks, dude. Sometimes you get the really good animation where he does, like, right away it comes to you. You can also get a YOLO there, but I won't worry about that for this tutorial either. Anyway, you want to get as far back into this cutscene as you can. If you can get into the cutscene, that's good. If you don't, just obviously walk back and do it afterwards. Basically, the cutscene starts at the stairs. And we have Bogmire. I have a tutorial on this, but we'll do it again. Basically. There's a couple different options you have here. A lot of people struggle with Bogmire. He's very particular and very heavy pull. So it's very easy to 2-cycle. If you 2-cycle right away, it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it. Just keep practicing, you'll get it. We all 2-cycle them no matter how good we are once in a while, so don't worry about it if you 2-cycle them. But I mean, all you have to do in a technical retrospect is literally, like, suck up this blob, and he's always right every time. And then you just want to suck him up. And I 2-cycle because I'm bad with controller stick. Well, like, whoa. And also another thing to keep in mind here, same thing with Chauncey earlier, I think was the last time I explained with this. Like, don't hold down R and not hold down L when you're releasing the ball, because Luigi will, like, pull out the vacuum again. You want to hold down L and R during this fight, at least until you've actually make sure Bogmire has actually been grabbed by the goop ball. Ooh, nice. And if you can't get it with a controller stick, which I can still get it sometimes, there is a C-stick method as well, which I'll just show it here. See how much more controlled and easier it was to get it, even though it was slower. I mean, as a beginner, you obviously want to get the 1-cycle more than anything else, so that's like the more idea you want to think about. But basically what we're doing here is we're pointing in the opposite direction of the ghost. With the controller stick. And doing the C-stick in half moons in the opposite direction. Or you can also tap in the opposite direction. If you ever lose Bogmire, just hold them back with both controller stick and C-stick at the same time until you grab it back, if you're in fear of losing them. If I do this, I can just pull it back with both controller stick, get it back. So yeah, we got like a little bit of struggle there, but I just kept holding back and with both controller sticks until I got a spot where he was. It's very particular, like a lot of times thinks like, dang, I was pulled in the right direction, but he still went away. It wasn't quite the right angle. I may have thought it was, but it wasn't quite the right angle. And even if it's slow, if you have the angles down, you can keep them there for quite a while and not even lose them. It looks pretty sick when you don't lose them anywhere. It's not always necessarily the fastest, but it can be fast that way if you do it right. Or just see, like, I can hold them back forever. And just like mess around with the C stick if you want to do that. If you don't, there's always the controller stick. You can always still just do the same method. And you can keep the same thing in mind. You can still slow it down and point. Make sure you're just holding back when you're trying to get control of them again. And you can still use the C stick with that if you really want to. Sometimes I do that, but let it goes. I should show what happens when you do 2-cycle too. If you 2-cycle, like I just did. Roll off, please, thank you. You just have to get another blob. And then you have to find him. He's never in the same spot, so you just gotta find out where he went. And continue the entire situation again. That's pretty much it. But yeah, just the half moon, just make sure that you're paying attention to where Bogmire is going and not where Luigi is standing, where Bogmire is going. That's the main thing, you gotta pay attention to where he's going. So sometimes they're going into you, it's really... like they pick the most interesting angles sometimes. Really do, they pick the most interesting angles sometimes. But anyway, I think that gets the idea of area 2, so after that's over, you just have to, for some reason this clicked away, lost control, alright. So you just want to get this chest and get the boss key to finish area 2. And you'd be good to go. And get this cutscene again. And then you would go through that entire portrait ghost and such again, basically. And then you'd be all good to go. But that's a good stopping point. That's the finish of area 2 for this tutorial. And the next part we'll start area 3, and we'll get ourselves right on through this tutorials area. And we will be on our way to a faster Luigi speedrun. See you guys next time.